Hey guys, SpeedCubeStack here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to solve a 3x3x4 cuboid. Now, first thing you need to know is that you've already probably figured this out because it's pretty obvious. The sides only turn 180 degrees. If you try 190, it doesn't turn anymore. And second thing you need to know, the first step in solving this cube is solving these two layers. And when you're solving these two layers, this is going to be your U, and this is going to be your D, because you're working on these two layers. Because if you did a U, this won't affect this layer at all, so you won't do anything to it. So this is going to be your U when you're solving these two layers, and this is going to be your D. And then when you're done with these two layers, this is going to go back to your U, and this is going to be your D. So we can go ahead and get started. So you can go ahead and scramble your cube, and then when you're done, you can come back. Feel free to pause the video. So first step is you want to make sure that all your centers are in position. So you want to know your color scheme. And my color scheme from the yellow side is blue, orange, green, and red. So I'm going to get a blue center here, an orange center here, a green center here, and a red center here. So I already have a blue. Now I'm rotating this for an orange. There's an orange. Now once you have it under there, you just have to rotate to the top. Blue, orange. Now we need a green and a red here. I'm turning this for a green. There it is. And then there's already red there. And now I have blue, orange, green, and red. So now, after you do that, the next step is solving your first layer. Once you do that, you're going to flip your cube around like that. So this next step is pretty easy. You're trying to get your edges into here to solve this first layer. So I'm going to start with the red and green. As you can see, I need a red and green edge piece here, because if I got one there, it would solve this section. So I'm looking for red and green. There is none on the top layer, and because of that, I'm going to just rotate like that and go to the next one, green and orange. There's a green and orange, and as you noticed, I have a green and orange, and the colors are opposite. Orange and green, green and orange. And that's what you want. You don't want one where they're the same color, green, green, orange, orange. You don't want that. You want one where they're opposite colors. So once you have that opposite, you're going to make sure that it's on the right. So you have the center here, and the other center is on the right. And then you're just going to do this algorithm. It's very simple. R, U, R, U prime, R. And there you go. You got an edge piece in. So once you do that, you can just rotate your cube. Go to the next one, which is blue and orange. So there's my blue and orange piece. And the colors are opposite, so I can do the algorithm again. R, U prime, R. And there you go. One more to go. There it is. Opposite colors. R, U prime, R. And there you go. You got your first layer done. And the next step is step 2, which is solving your second layer. Alright guys, we're on to step 2. Now when you're on step 2, you're going to look for two things. You're going to either look for headlights, as you can see, I have here, 2 green headlights. They can be any color, 2 orange, 2 blue, 2 red, doesn't matter. So, you can either look for headlights, or, if you're looking, there can be no headlights at all. That's the second case that you're going to get. So there's either a case where you have headlights, or there's no headlights at all anywhere, and nothing's matching. So if you have the headlights, you're just going to go ahead and match them up to the right color. So greens line up with green. And once you do that, your headlights are going to go to the left. And the reason why we do this is we're trying to orient all of our edges. So we're trying to get this piece here and this piece here. Or we're trying to permute all of our edges, sorry. So once we have them permuted, we can solve our centers, and then our first 2 layers will be done. So if you have the headlights, what you're going to do is you're going to put your headlights to the left. And this is the adjacent edge swap, because as you can see, it's going to swap this with this, and it will permute all of our edges. So the algorithm for swapping these two is kind of long, but it's pretty easy. R, U prime, R, U prime, D, R, U prime, R, U, R, D prime. As you can see, all of our edges are permuted, and now all we have to do is solve our centers. Now, there's a second case, and that's the one where you have no headlights, and I'll go ahead and show you guys that next. Alright guys, this is the second case in step 2, where you have no headlights anywhere. So as you can see, I have no headlights in this second layer. So if you see no headlights, then you automatically know that that is the diagonal swap edge piece. So this has to be swapped with this, all the way in the back. So they're being swapped diagonally. So once you do that, you're going to put an edge that needs to be swapped diagonally on the right. You don't want it on the left, you want it on the right. So you're going to have it to the right, and you're going to do this algorithm. It's basically the inverse of the adjacent edge swap. R, U prime, R, U, R, D prime, R, U, R, U prime, R, D, R. And as you can see, it has solved all of our edges and they're all permuted. So, you finished step 2, and now we're on to step 3. Alright guys, step 3 is permuting your centers. So, what we need to do is we need to look for 2 cases again. There's the case where you need to do an adjacent swap, so if I need to swap these 2 edges or centers like I need to now, then I put the green here and that would solve this face, and then I put the orange here, and then I'd have to do an opposite swap. So I'll go ahead and show you the adjacent swap first. So you'll recognize this by if you need to swap this center with here like I need to, and this orange one will go here. And sometimes you might get it where by doing an adjacent center swap you won't solve 2 sides, only just one, but that's okay, that's pretty normal. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the 2 that need to be swapped, you're going to put it so one's facing you and one's on the right. And then you're going to do this algorithm. It's pretty simple. R, U, R, U, R, U2, R, U2, R, U, R, U prime, R. As you can see, it has swapped these, and then it has solved this green, and this blue's already solved. So now we have an opposite swap. As you can see, this has to swap with this all the way in the back. Now when you're doing the opposite swap with the centers, you want to make sure that your center and the one that needs to be swapped with it in the back is in the front and back. So once they're in the front and back, this is probably the easiest algorithm, or one of the easiest on the 3x4. It's just R, U2, R, U2, R, U2. And there you go. Your first 2 layers are solved. Now, we're on to step 4, which is the hardest one. Welcome to step 4, the hardest step in solving the 3x3x4. Now, this step 4 consists of 2 parts, which is getting your white cross and then inserting all of your corners. So, when you're getting your white cross, you want to make sure that all of your edges like this are in their proper position, like this piece right here. See how this white and blue is in its proper color? You want that to be with all of your centers, or your edges. So, the way that we get this there is we need this green and orange, or green and red, or I'm sorry, white and green, to go here. So, we can't just do that, because if you see, it puts it down there, but then it swaps this, and we don't want that. So, this is probably the simplest algorithm for getting it down there. So, you're going to match it up, and then once it's matched up, you're going to move it to the left of you. Then you're going to rotate so the edge is still facing you. Once you do that, you're going to do this algorithm. R, U prime, R. Very simple. So then you're going to do it with all of them. So again, I have this white and orange. I'm going to line it up with the orange and move it to the left. I'm going to have this facing me, and then I'm going to do the algorithm. R, U prime, R. I have one more, which is right here. It's lined up, and I move it to the left. And then I have it facing me again. R, U prime, R. Now, I have my cross, and all of my edges are in proper place. Now, once you do that, here's the hardest part, is inserting your corners. It was very difficult for me at first to learn this. I was struggling a lot until I finally understood how it worked. So, you're going to go ahead and start this. So, basically, this works the same way as when you're inserting an edge when you're solving your first layer. So, again, you have to think of these as your centers, these edges as your centers, and this as your edge that needs to go down here. So as you can see, I have a blue and red, so I need a blue and red and white corner piece, which is up here, and as you can see, the color is opposite. So you're going to do the same exact algorithm as you would do if you were inserting this edge into here. Again, you have it on your front side and your right, because you're inserting this down into there, and you do the same algorithm. R, U prime, R. And there you go. It's inserted this in. And as you can see, it has swapped this. So basically this has been swapped with this, and that's okay. You just have to make sure that you don't rotate the cube again. Because if you do, say if I was inserting this, look, you get another flip face, and things start to get messy. And that you don't want that. So once you insert one edge, you want to make sure that you don't rotate your cube anymore. So once you insert that edge, you're just going to basically rotate to the right or the left. It doesn't really matter. I personally rotate to the right, or I basically do a D move. So now I need an orange and blue, and I'm looking, and oh, there is no orange and blue in the top layer. It's already down in here. It's just not right. So now this is my only piece that I have in the top layer that's white, and that's red and green. So I'm looking for my red and green, which is right there. So I do the same algorithm for inserting it. R, U, R, U prime, R. As you can see, it's inserted and it's swapped this back. So I need to do 2 more, and the only one in the top layer is white, blue, and orange. So I'm looking for blue and orange, which is right there. I do the algorithm. R, U prime, R. There we go. Now I have 1 more to do, which is the orange and the green, which is right there. Orange and green. R, U prime, R. And there you go. You have solved your first 3 layers. Now you might get where this is still swapped, and if you have that, that's okay. You don't need to worry about that. Now, I have a situation where I can basically swap these two and these two in one algorithm, and my whole cube will be solved. And that's actually what's going to happen, and I'll go ahead and show you guys. Now, this is step 5, so you've gotten past step 4. That's the hardest part, and I'll see you guys on step 5. Alright guys, let's get started on step 5. Now, step 5 has the same exact rules as when you're solving this layer. So you just have to think of this as when you're solving your second layer on here. It works the same way. You have to think of these as your centers, these edges, and these as your kind of like edges on when you're solving these 2 layers. So again, you look for the same 2 cases. You either look for headlights or no headlights. And in my case, I have headlights, so I'm going to line up my headlights just like last time. And the ones that I'm going to swap are on my right. So this is the adjacent corner swap. And what it does is it doesn't only swap these 2 corners, it also swaps these 2 centers. So it's kind of like the T-perm. So I'll go ahead and show you guys, or I'll show you guys the algorithm again. R, U prime, R, U prime, D, R, U prime, R, U, R, D. And that solved your whole cube. Now you might not get that with this. You might get it where after you do that, you still have to solve your edges, but I'll tell you guys now, it's the same as when you're solving your centers. You do the same algorithm, so I'll go ahead and show you. So look, it's the same thing. I have to swap this edge and this edge, just like if I had to swap these 2 edges. So I do the same exact algorithm that I would use for swapping my 2 centers. R, U, R, U, R, U2, R, U2, R, U, R, U prime, R. Now, as I said on the end of step 4, you might get this parity, and I'll go ahead and show you guys the parity. It might look like this after you finish solving your cube, where you have this, and they need to be swapped. And again, you can't just do that because, you know, that would leave this whole side unsolved. So there's an algorithm for doing it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the 2 that are unsolved, and you're going to put them on your left and your right. And then you're going to do this algorithm. It starts off with a UW2. And for those of you who don't know what a UW2 is, then I'll tell you now. A UW2 is basically 2 layers. So if I say a UW2, you do this. If I said a DW2, you would do this. So after you do that, then you're going to do this one algorithm. UW2, R, F, lowercase u2, F, R, UW2. And that lowercase is just this layer when I say lowercase u. And there you go. You've solved your 3x3x4. It's a pretty difficult puzzle to solve at first, as I said before, and I had a lot of trouble. You might have to watch this tutorial a couple times, like I did. And anyway, please leave a comment on what videos you guys want me to make, and I'll let you in a little secret. I will be making a new video tomorrow. It's going to be an unboxing, and it's a really fun cube, and you guys are going to like it. But anyway, that's how you solve your 3x3x3x4 cuboid. Thanks for watching.